Let me put it to you this way. Never before has Let's Play footage convinced me to not buy a game and system. And this is coming from a guy who bought a PlayStation Vita just to play Persona 4 Golden. A bit of context. A few years ago, around 2012, Nintendo had a promotion where if you bought Fire Emblem Awakening and Shin Megami Tensei 4, you would get some credit for the Nintendo eShop. Sure, both games are amazing in their own right, with Fire Emblem Awakening having great characters and a compelling story, and Shin Megami Tensei 4 having a fantastic battle system and thought-provoking themes, but there was a question about what they had to do with one another. Then, it was revealed. There is to be a crossover between the two franchises. The trailer was ominous, and showed that the heroes from the core Shin Megami Tensei games, here by SMT, and the Fire Emblem line of games, here by FE, are to take part in a plot that promises to be delightfully dark. Speculation was abound for the next couple of years, then what the hell is this?
The game you just saw is indeed the crossover between Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem that we announced back in January of 2013 in a Nintendo Direct.
He's gotta be kidding, right?
The crossover between Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem.
With each subsequent trailer, it's revealed that Guinea Pigaro, screw it. Fire Emblem in Tokyo is indeed real, and that this is what we're going to get. I remember thinking when I saw these trailers that this is going to go down as one of Atlus's biggest sins in video game history. And given how for some frickin' reason people seem to like this garbage, I'll play devil's advocate and explain why this game's very existence makes my blood boil and why everyone should stop playing the damned game. Section 1. Tone. Tone is one of my biggest complaints in the whole thing, and it's not just because of the tonal gap between the first and second trailer. SMT, as a family of games, has always been dark and edgy since Megami Tensei, which itself is an adaptation of Digital Devil Story, and all the games in the family need to have some sort of dark core. Hell, even Persona 4 is dark because it's a murder mystery, with emphasis on the murder! Then you have FE. I confess that I'm not as huge of a fan as I am with SMT, but from what little I played, there are quite a few heart-wrenching moments, such as the sacrificial suicide in Awakening, or even the fact that Corrin was kidnapped and raised by a rival royal family in Fates just for the use of their dragon blood powers or whatever. With both game franchises known for being dark and grim, why is Fire Emblem in Tokyo colorful and oh so magical? I thought the point of a crossover is to combine elements of two or more universes to create something new while keeping important elements from all sides. After all, if you deviate at all from what makes each franchise what it is, the soul, if you will, you won't win any favors from any of the hardcore fans. In fact, it will alienate them, like how bad fanfiction alienates people with good taste. In the case of Fire Emblem in Tokyo, no true fan will want to play this if they have any sense, because there is nothing truly recognizable from either franchise, aside from maybe Chrom. Pretty much the only people who will want to play this are weeaboos, who only like the kawaii side of Japanese culture. I have my doubts that they are real role-playing gamers. And then there is the title, Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE. Did they seriously put in a hashtag in the title? When I see hashtags used like this, it's usually because the marketing department is advertising to idiots.
Sometimes, one of the best parts of an RPG is its style, and no one understands that quite like Atlus. Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE.
Oh, come on, Nintendo! You know full well that we call it a hashtag in English! Speaking of which, Section 2. Localization. I get that this is supposed to be a cooperative effort between Atlus and Nintendo, but why is the partnership so one-sided? Seriously, not only did Atlus do all the work for creating the game, they were also responsible for localization, all under Nintendo's watchful eye, and neither of them is claiming responsibility for all the changes made for the English release. From my point of view, I don't think Atlus is at fault here. After all, I'm pretty sure they've learned their lesson after Revelation's Persona, so why would I put all the blame time on Nintendo, it's because of what Nintendo and their treehouse did in recent months. I won't go into censorship for the sake of time, but if you want to see what Nintendo and treehouse have done in that realm, censored gaming is your best resource here. Instead, I will mostly talk about the changes to story and character because, as a trained writer, that is more my area of interest. To start off, you have Fire Emblem Fates, arguably the most polarizing game brought over to the West in 2016. In addition to removing the face-touching minigame and terrible voice acting, you have entire conversations deleted, characters and their relationships butchered, and even outdated cartoon references ham-fisted where they don't belong. It's ironic, really. FE Awakening saved the franchise from dying thanks to the game's well-written characters, but FE Fates killed the franchise for me with 4-Kids level localization. And no, treehouse, referencing the rage against the removal of the face-touching minigame is not clever. It's immature. Then you have Bravely Second. When Bravely Default was released, the only changes made were to the outfits and in raising the ages of the main characters by 3 years, which I'm pretty much fine with that. The sequel, however, not only changed a certain job class, but also changed the story routes for side quests. According to Nintendo, they changed the endings for all the side quests so that everything would work out fine because, according to them, no matter what the player does, it will always end badly. The problem is, though, that is until chapter 4 of the story when you have a chance to make the other decision, and the result is more satisfying. Overall, in the Japanese version, there are 4 possible endings for each side quest, 2 for each playthrough, 1 bad, then 1 good. Eliminating all the bad endings for each side quest, from my point of view, removes all replayability. If I choose option A, get the bad ending for that, then choose B and get the good ending for that on the first try, I might be inclined to play again and go the other way around. But no. With only the good endings on the first playthrough, I might as well sell or give away the game secondhand and let the next player play New Game Plus. The above changes made and the resulting ruined experiences for the players is all due to Nintendo sticking their fingers in and messing around without any thought to nuance and subtlety. This brings me to Fire Emblem in Tokyo. In addition to the censorship in the English release, only the written lines were translated.
The game is based in Japan, so we're keeping its original VO track and adding in English subtitles.
The spoken dialogue, however, is still in Japanese. Hell, even the changes made to the story in the English release because of censorship, they still asked the Japanese voice actors to record new lines to match up with what's new in the English release. If that's the case, why not just hire English voice actors?
The game is based in Japan.
If it's because the localizers want to maintain the Japanese-ness of the story, I call BS. You cannot claim to maintain the Japanese-ness of the story if you're going to eliminate the things being commented upon in the Japanese release that are exclusively Japanese phenomena, such as that kind of erotic modeling which I can't pronounce properly. On top of that, Persona 4 also dealt with similar themes and issues found in Fire Emblem in Tokyo. It's arguably more Japanese in attitude than Fire Emblem in Tokyo, and the game can still be played in English. Without the commentary found in the Japanese release, the English release is nothing more than half-assed localization.
The game is based in Japan.
And do you know what else is half-assed about Fire Emblem in Tokyo? Section 3. The crossover concept itself. The crossover concept itself! When I saw the very first trailer, I was under the impression that both franchises would be equally well represented. Guess what? That is a big fat lie after all. On the FE end of things, only Chrom shows up in the game as a persona. And speaking of which, why the sudden shift towards persona-style gameplay? The only thing remotely persona-related that was hinted at was the appearance of Tamaki Uchida, but only from when she was the protagonist of SMTxFE. If I wanted to play a new Persona game, I'd pre-order Persona 5. Which I did. And where the hell are all the demons? You can put in Zeo or Dia spells, but not demons? Oh, what's that? Jack Frost is the mascot of Hee-Haw Mart? Oh, good. That totally makes it SMT. Like how the Jack Frost pin on this gunner means Etrian Odyssey is part of the same universe. And sarcasm. For that matter, if FE classes are a thing, where are all the strategic elements? I was expecting something along the lines of Devil Survivor, except not isometric and everyone can have 8 abilities instead of 3. Instead, we get Persona on the Wii U starring these jackasses and not the heroes we hoped for. You can't really call it a proper crossover between FE and SMT so much as a Persona bootleg with cameo characters from FE. Personally, that's why I call it Fire Emblem in Tokyo, because it's just Fire Emblem and it takes place in Tokyo. Conclusion. Between the inconsistent tone of what was promised, the forked style presentation, and the pretense of what it thinks it is, anyone who wants to get Fire Emblem in Tokyo is either insane or not a real fan in the first place. As in people who played FE Awakening or Fates for 5 minutes before deciding to be part of a fan base they don't understand anything about because they are superficial geeks who can't be bothered to finish the rest of the game, or people who only watch the Persona 4 anime for all the pretty colors. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. If you like what I have to say, please like this video and follow me on Twitter. If you have any thoughts you would like to share, please leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.